Has everybody's mind kind of settled after yesterday's teaching? That wasn't a rhetorical question. I do need an answer. Good. I didn't get the opportunity to introduce a couple of books yesterday, but I want to do it now whilst it's fresh. So why don't you introduce this one? I'll introduce this one. This book is called Hidden Treasures Lying in Plain Sight. It is an excellent. I'm going, you've heard me say for the last several months, I'm going to be doing a teaching on the 12 tribes. What this will do, it's called the hidden treasures that lies in plain sight. You can take snapshots of it afterwards. Now, this particular book here, it's got lots of precepts in it, so it's not just a book with just somebody's philosophy. It has the scriptures to back it up that goes through it as well. It's beautifully written. It's the type of thing book that you pick up and start reading, you can't put it down. It's that good of a book. I didn't get the opportunity. Some of the brothers, there were, all right. Well, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it to one side that we can have it explained about afterwards. We're live right now, and I don't like to give this information out whilst we're live because I don't want the bookstores to start, shooting the prices up and causing our people to pay exorbitant costs when they don't have to. All right, to all of you out there in video land and us who are here on this our Pentecostal day that we're actually celebrating, I want to take your attention, if you please, to a study that we're going to begin to break down some scriptures. Please don't ask me for a title just yet because I don't have one. I thought of the signs of the times, but I think I've already done a teaching on the signs of the times. But we will come to some kind of understanding of a title when we're through. Maybe someone online could give me a tip. But we're going to begin by reading 2 Ezra Chapter 5 and 1. This is going to be a somewhat heavy study. It's going to be somewhat heavy. So I need you to pay close attention and have your notebooks and everything ready. And we're going to go from there. Let's begin reading 2 Ezra Chapter 5. We're going to begin at verse 1. Obviously, since you could cry aloud and go from there.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
Stop. Now, first thing that we need to be clear, it says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens. Please make a note that the word tokens here, it points to signs. There are going to be signs that's given to us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still reeling from what happened to Brother George Floyd. So I'm going to be mentioning him and what took place with him ever so often as we go through this teaching. Part of the signs that we have been seeing, going all the way back to just January of this year, 2020, we have had a notable action of a man or woman of color die every month. And that's just the ones that were caught on tape.
Right.
Not to say all of the others that have slipped through and people have taken no notice of it. And remember, Amalek controls the media. Yeah. Therefore, he's in a strong position to try to stop certain things from going out there, because his whole objectivity is not to muddy his watering pond that he has everyone come to drink from. So it tells us, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, in other words, the signs that are happening, the murdering of our people is a sign. It's been going on. It's a sign 400 years. It's a sign. What is it going to take for us to wake up and unite as a people? Then it says,
Behold, the days shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number.
Go on.
And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith.
And the land shall be barren of faith. There will be a lack of faith among our people.
That's right.
Because of all that they've seen happen, because of how they have felt like our Most High God has abandoned us. But he hasn't abandoned us. Hold that scripture. Let's go back to what we just read this morning in Baruch. Let's just quickly go there just for a quick moment. Let's read, if you please, verse 6.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Read.
Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction.
So he's reminding us, you were sold to the nations, but the Most High God didn't do it to destroy you completely. But he did it because of how we acted. Read.
But because ye moved God to wrath.
Read.
Ye were delivered unto the enemy.
Unto our enemies, it's letting us know. Jump down, if you please, to verse 15.
Verse 15. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far. A shameless nation.
A what?
A shameless nation.
They are shameful. Read.
And of a strange language.
Go on.
Who neither reverence old men, nor pity children.
They don't reverence old men, old women, or young children, or babies. That is tied in with Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 50, 49 and 50. That's tied in there. Let's just quickly just chop that up one time since we're there, and then we'll come back quickly to where we are.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Read.
From the end of the earth.
Go on.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Go on.
A nation whose tongue shalt thou not understand. A nation of fierce countenance.
Read.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
There it is. And back to the Apocrypha. It says in verse 18, For he that
brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies.
21, read.
Verse 21. Be of good cheer.
In spite of all that's happening, my children, try to keep your spirits alive. Read.
Oh, my children, cry unto the Lord.
Read.
And he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemy.
Now verse 25.
Verse 25. My children, suffer patiently.
He said, suffer patiently. Take your time. Don't let your spirit become overly anxious. I know we're feeling it. We felt it because George was harmed, killed, and brought to an end. But read it again.
My children, suffer patiently.
Read.
The wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy have persecuted thee. But shortly.
But what?
But shortly.
But in a short time, read.
Thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck.
We shall tread on his neck. That time is coming. You can bank it, put it in your dictionary, your book, your diary, your memoirs. Put it in, write it down, make a note of it. But that time of his end and his tread on his neck, it's coming. It's coming. Payback is coming. Oh, I know what you thought I was going to say. All right. Let's go back, if you please, to the book of 2nd Ezra. And let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 68. Let us read.
2 Ezra Chapter 16 and verse 68.
Read.
For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you.
Hold it. It said that certain of us will be taken away.
Come.
Go on.
And feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
Go on.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach.
And in what?
And in reproach.
Read.
And trodden underfoot.
And trodden underfoot. You see how this treading underfoot is so highlighted here in the scriptures? Are you seeing that?
Come.
Let's read on a little more. Let's read.
For there shall be in every place.
In every place. Now, what has happened since George's death? Read.
And in the next cities, a great insurrection.
Read.
Upon those that fear the Lord.
Read.
They shall be like madmen.
Go on, read.
Sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Read.
For they shall waste and take away their goods.
Read.
And cast them out of their houses.
Wow. Let's go back, if you please. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12. And let's read verse 1. Daniel chapter 12 and 1. Let's read.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people.
So there is an angel of the Most High God who is standing up for us. In spite of what's going on, we're still being sheltered from the greater harm that could come. Sometimes we wonder, we feel like, well, nothing's happening. But you don't know what's happening in the spirit realm. He's covering us and stopping certain things from happening that could easily happen without us even realizing. But it says, read it from the top, sir.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1.
Read.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people.
Read.
And there shall be a time of trouble.
That's it, a time of trouble. I think that's the title. A time of trouble.
Come.
Read.
Such as never was since there was a nation.
Read.
Even to that same time.
Go on.
And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Now that's important for us to take note, because it says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Now, what we must pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen, is that what book is it alluding to? Let's read verse 2.
Verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
All right, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. And we're going to read verse 13, if you please. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 13. Let's read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 13. O Most High, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed.
All that forsake thee shall be made ashamed. Go on.
And they that depart from me shall be written in the earth.
Oh, hold it now. Underline that word, written in the earth. Underline it. Why? Because it is speaking about the 2/3. The 2/3 are going to be written in the earth. Why? Because the 2/3 would have made their wealth, their successes, their monies, their achievements in the earth. So their name will be written in the earth. Because that's where they made their greatest production. That's where the productivity of their life has been at its best. But then when we read,
because they have forsaken the Most High.
They forsook the Most High in order to have the earthly wealth of this world. Go on.
The fountain of living waters.
The fountain of living waters. You forsook what the Most High has for you, for which is the fountain of living waters, just for what this world has. Go on.
Verse 14. Heal me, O Most High, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved. For thou art my praise.
Thou art what?
For thou art my praise.
All right. State it and read it again.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 14.
Read.
Heal me, O Most High, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved.
Read.
For thou art my praise.
Thou art my praise.
Come.
So we see then that those that are written in the earth are the 2/3. And why is that so important? Because now we're going to look a little bit further. Let's go to the book of Luke. Let's go to Luke. And we're going to go to Luke chapter 7 and verse 24. We're going to come back to Jeremiah in a moment, but let's go to Luke chapter 7 and verse 24. Let's read.
The book of Luke, chapter 7 and verse 24. And when the messengers of John were departed,
Go on.
he began to speak unto the people concerning John. What went ye out into the wilderness for to see? A reed shaken with the wind.
Go on.
But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment.
Read.
Behold, they which are gorgeously apparelled and live delicately are in king's courts.
Are in what?
Are in king's courts.
Go on.
But what went ye out for to see? A prophet.
Go on.
Yea, I say unto you, and much more than a prophet.
Much more than a prophet. Go on.
This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. For I say unto you, among those that are born of women, there is not a greater prophet than John the Baptist. But he that is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he.
So it's showing that in the present order of things, that men are looking for their greatness from the earth that supplies all of their apparels, all of their position, all of their successes. I need you to understand that clearly. But we who are of the elect, and we're hopefully and prayerfully believing that we are of the elect, your names will be written in the book of life, not in the earth. Because everything that belongs to the earth is going to be destroyed and diminished. The things that are of the Most High God are written in the book of life. Why? Because everything that he has for you is going to last eternally for you as his everlasting children. Now, to take it a step further, let's go back, if you please, to Jeremiah chapter 17, and let's read verse 13 again.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 13.
Read.
O Most High, the hope of Israel.
The hope of Israel, go on.
All that forsake thee.
All that have forsaken thee, go on.
Shall be ashamed.
They're going to be made ashamed because all that you ran after. I want to live like a hog on a hill right now. I want to live large. I want to have the big house, the cars, and all of that. But the writer said, if in this life only men would have hope, you'd be of all men most miserable. This is not the life for you to hope for the great opulence of things. We are pilgrims passing through. Go on. All right, finish it for me, please.
And they that depart from me shall be written.
Shall
be written
Go on.
in the earth.
In the earth, go on.
Because they have forsaken the Most High.
Go on.
The fountain of living water.
The fountains of living water. That's the book of life. Go on. Heal me.
Verse 14. Heal me, O Most High, and I shall be healed.
Go on.
Save me, and I shall be saved. For thou art my praise.
Read.
Behold, they say unto me, where is the word of the Most High?
Read.
Let it come now.
Read.
As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee.
Read.
Neither have I desired the woeful day. Thou knowest that which came out of my lips was right before thee.
Go on.
Be not a terror unto me.
Read.
Thou art my hope.
He is our hope in spite of the terror that's now happening around us. Go on.
Thou art my hope in the day of evil.
In the day of evil. Right, drop that. Go to Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. 30 and 7. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Officer Hugh asks, are the 2/3 or are part of the 2/3 those that have their best on earth?
All right, say that one more time.
He says, are the 2/3
Are the 2/3
are part of the 2/3 those who have their best on earth?
Oh, okay. So if the 2/3 are on earth and they're living their best on earth, are they the ones that are considered to be part of those that are going to be destroyed? Or words to that effect? Well, yes. Yes. Because here's the thing, and let's balance this a little bit as well, because I have to be mindful that there are some who is in the 1/3 who are successful in their business life. Are we saying that those individuals are also going to be destroyed? Well, the short answer to that is this. If you are keeping all the laws, statutes, and commandments, and you are living according to what the scripture says, and you're keeping the Sabbath on all of those things, and you're ensuring that you're adhering to it, you are part of the 1/3. And you have to continue to pray prayerfully that the Most High will see you in that light. The reason why this is important is because, you see, in Christianity, it is not the same. Because in Christianity, they say this, that you get saved, you get speaking tongues, and you're going to make it into the kingdom. And that's not true. Because many people have this philosophy in their head that once saved, always saved. And that is unscriptural. You see, you have to keep or make your election sure. And how do you do that? By keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. And someone says, but what about faith? Yes, faith is tied in there too, because you can't do it without faith. It takes a whole lot of faith to keep it. And so, let's move forward. We'll take some more questions down the road, and maybe we'll elaborate more on that as we go on. Let's go back, if you please, now to 2nd Ezra Chapter.
Jeremiah 30.
Did I say Jeremiah? Did we not read that? Oh, Salaki. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Let's read. Alas.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7.
Go on.
Alas, for that day is great.
Go on.
So that none is like it.
So there is a day coming that's going to be very great. Now, again, I'm trying to kind of pace myself with this because this is going to it's kind of heavyish, and I want you to really understand it clearly. So it's at the last, for that day is great. So that none is like it. So there's going to be no other day that's ever in history that's been like it. Go on.
It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
There it is. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. Go on.
But he shall be saved out of it.
But you shall be saved out of it. All of what's going to kick off, and it's going to kick off. Hard for some of you to even, well, if it's hard for you to see it based upon what's happening around us right now, you're in trouble. But here's what I'm saying. That Jacob's trouble, it's not going to happen instantly. It's going to be like a slow, smoldering fire. It will create some heat, then it will create some smoke, and after the smoke gets out of the way, then you're going to start seeing some flames. It's going to move in that direction, and it's going to get worse down the road. All right. Holding that in mind, okay, that we just read. Let me see where we are for. Yes, read on verse 8.
Verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Most High of hosts.
Read, and again, you'll see the key word that I've been keeping in mind as we read through. Go on.
Come. That I will break his yoke from off thy neck.
From what?
From off thy neck.
Isn't that something? Scripture just letting us know all your mess, all of what you're doing, but all your shenanigans, he's going to break it off of his neck. Go on.
And I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
Read.
But thou shalt serve the Most High, their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them.
Raise up unto them. Come on. All right. Let's drop that now. Let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 5. 2 Ezra chapter 5. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, but again, I want to get the foundation secure. 2 Ezra chapter 5, and let's read verse 1 again and 2.
Come. 2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the token,
go on.
Behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number.
Go on.
And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity.
But the sin, read.
Shall be increased.
Read.
Above that which now thou seest.
So even with what you see now, it's going to get worse.
Come.
Go on.
Or that thou hast heard long ago.
Long ago. All right. Hold that. Let's go, if you please, to Psalms chapter 12 and verse 8. The book of Psalms chapter 12 and verse 8. Let's read.
The book of Psalms chapter 12 and verse 8.
Psalms 12 and 8. Let's read.
The wicked walk on every side.
So, it's letting you know that the wicked do what? Walk on every side.
Come.
Watch this.
When the vilest men are exalted.
When vile men are exalted. Have you not seen how these men who have killed the people of God are exalted?
Come.
Now you'll say, no, they weren't exalted. You exalt them when you keep them in their jobs.
That's right.
You exalt them when you have these online cash cows that everybody gives into them, and they're making $1 million from people giving to them.
Yeah.
You exalt them when you do that. Read it one more time before we move to the next.
Psalms chapter 12 and verse 8.
Read.
The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
When the vilest men are exalted. Let's go from there to Proverbs chapter 29. You all know that script. Proverbs 29 and 2.
The book of Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2.
Read.
When the righteous are in authority.
When we are in authority, watch what happens. Read.
The people rejoice.
The people will begin to rejoice. But not only the people will rejoice, the trees will rejoice. The animals will rejoice. The atmosphere will rejoice. Read, sir.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
The people what?
The people mourn.
The people mourn. There's a scripture that comes to mind. It's in Isaiah chapter 14. Let me see that. Isaiah chapter 14. That everything's going to rejoice. Yes, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 8, I think it is. Yes, verse 7.
Come. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet.
That's it. So notice that even the earth is going to say, hallelujah. The righteous people are back in place. Read on.
They break forth into singing.
Read.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice.
The trees rejoice. Go on.
At thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Read.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
Read.
It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones.
From what?
From their thrones.
From their thrones.
All the nations of Salaki, all the kings of the nations.
All the kings of nations. Let's back to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and let's read verse 3.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 3.
Read.
In the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night.
All right. So let's see if we can get some understanding with this. It says, verse 4, but if the Most High grant thee to live, read.
Thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again.
That the sun shall suddenly shine again. Who can tell me what that means? Who can tell me what that means? Who can tell me what that means? All right. Johanna, go ahead.
Yes, when they're talking about the sun shall suddenly shine again today, there will be no more nighttime when we get in the kingdom.
No.
It won't be like it'll be day all day.
No, that's not it. No. Try to back up with scripture if you can. All right, go ahead, Doctor. So let me hear what you got to say.
Talking about Israel.
Talking about what, sir?
Israel will rise again.
Israel. Yes, but all right. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. Now, watch this. Let's read this. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun.
With what?
With the sun.
Read.
And the moon.
And what?
And the moon.
Now, watch it. The sun and the moon. The sun and the moon. What does that mean? Wisdom and understanding.
Yes.
Good. Now, read on slowly, please.
And the moon under her feet.
Go on.
And upon her head.
Go on.
A crown of 12 stars.
And who are the 12 stars?
The tribes of Israel, yeah.
Good. So, wisdom and understanding then is on Israel. Right? So then when we go back to what we were just reading, where were we reading? Go on.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 4.
Read.
But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet
Read.
that the sun shall
That the what?
that the sun
That the sun.
shall suddenly shine again.
So there's going to be wisdom and understanding come back to us suddenly.
Come.
Read.
In the night.
Read.
And the moon thrice in the day.
Meaning our wisdom and understanding is going to come back in triple fold.
Come.
That's why you're going to see our men and women become more astute, more brighter than the sun, and they're going to be astonished at that. How are they saying things that we should be saying? They will hate you even the more for that, because you're making them look foolish in what they call their country. You already know that's a lie. Are you seeing this, ladies and gentlemen?
Come.
Woo! That's powerful right there.
That's right.
Run to Revelations chapter 8, 11 and 8. 11 and 8.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies.
And now we're back to their dead bodies again. This is a metaphor for spiritual death.
That's right.
Go on.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street.
In the street. Go on.
Of the great city.
The great city. What great city is that?
Babylon.
Babylon. Now, where is Babylon?
USA.
Right here. Shh. Go on.
Which spiritually
Wait, there it is. Which is spiritually what?
is called Sodom.
Why is it called Sodom? Because every sodomish act, it takes place in this country.
Come.
We'll prove it even more in a moment. But what you're seeing here is that every act that has been passed in the world that's become now legitimized was once something you would either be killed or go to prison for.
Come.
The scripture warns us about men who will, I can't remember where the scriptures they say, who will make things that are evil appear to be good, and things that are good appear to be evil. Can't remember where that is right now. But that's what it's letting us know here. Are you with me so far?
Come.
Did we finish that?
No, sir.
Let's finish it.
Is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Where he was crucified. Why? Because the images are there, according to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 15
Come.
and 16. In fact, to go there, please, just go there real quick. But we need to make sure that people know that we're not making this up. This is coming from the book. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 15 and 16. Let's read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves.
Start it again.
Come. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 15.
Read.
Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Most High spake unto you in horror out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image,
There it is. Go on.
the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female.
Stop. You could stop there. You notice we've been going back to this verse a couple of times.
Come.
It's like the Spirit has been bringing us back because the Spirit is trying to let us know, don't get caught up in idolatry.
That's right.
Don't be drawn into it. Don't let yourself be caught up in this. All right. Now, what we just read, going back to Revelations, what we read in Revelations chapter 12 and 1 about the sun and the moon, is because we lost our wisdom and we lost our understanding.
Come.
Now the scripture is letting us know that back in 2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 4, let's read that again if you please.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 4.
Go on.
But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trump that the sun shall suddenly shine again.
Suddenly, our knowledge, our wisdom, and our understanding is going to come back to us suddenly. Go on.
In the night, and the moon thrice in the day.
So it appears that we're going to get 3 times as much than what we had before. Barakatha Yahweh. All right. Go ahead, Brother Wendell.
Shalom, Dr. Thompson.
Shalom to you, sir.
The precept in Proverbs 4:18, is that appropriate to that verse?
All right, let's go there.
Proverbs 4,
Proverbs chapter 4,
verse 18.
4 verse 18. Let's go. 4 and 18. Let's read what we got there. Go ahead. Yes, indeed. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 18.
Go on.
But the path of the just is as the shining
Beautiful,
light,
beautiful, beautiful. Go on.
that shineth more and more unto the perfect day.
So, read on.
The way of the wicked is as darkness.
Read.
They know not at what they stumble.
So it's showing that our knowledge is going to get brighter and brighter as it moves into a perfect day.
God.
Perfect being a complete day. Go ahead, sir.
And then one other thing, the other precept was people calling evil good and good evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isaiah 5:20.
Say it again.
Isaiah 5:20.
Isaiah chapter 5 and 20. Let's go there. Let's go there real quick. Thank you very much for that scripture. Did not hold that in mind. Let's read it.
Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20.
Go on.
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Read it again from the top.
Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20.
Read.
Woe unto them that call evil good
Go on.
and good evil,
And call good evil. Go on.
that put darkness for light
See that?
and light for darkness,
That puts ignorance for knowledge. Go on.
that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
See? So that's why we know that this is Babylon, because Babylon is confusion, and they've confused everything, and everything that we think we know is confused. We become confused people by mixing in with their philosophy. You see that?
Yep.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and 4. Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
All right, now, before we finish that verse, read it again slowly. I want to prove a point.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So it's telling us clearly, now we will be discontinued from our heritage. Let's precept that with Psalms 119, 111. Psalms 119, 111.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 111. Thy testimonies have I taken as a heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart.
They are what?
For they are the rejoicing of my heart.
They are what?
For they are the rejoicing of my heart.
All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, can any of you prove to me or show me that where has a Jew, and I'm talking about Ashkenazi Jew, where did they have a discontinuation of their heritage? At what point in history can you show me for that to be so? Where? Yeah, crickets. Where has that ever happened? It's never happened. It said, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage. And that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
God.
Show me where in history has the Ashkenazi Jew ever served his enemy. Oh, in Germany, they weren't serving. They had, in fact, part of what made the Germans upset with them is that they were living in their country and they were richer than them.
That's right.
That's right.
That's why we went in there and they stole all their silver, their gold, and their paintings and their furs and everything, because they were living like mega millionaires, and the people who were there were living like squalors.
That's right.
So where in the land were they serving their enemies? It has never happened.
That's right.
Who has this happened to, ladies and gentlemen?
Israel.
All you got to do is just pick up a mirror and look in it, and you'll see who it's happened to.
God.
Let's finish this, sir. In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
read it from the top. Read 4 from the top and finish it.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Because these are Ashkenazi, or as the scriptures call them, they are Ashkenazi and they are Slovaks, because they are people who come from all of those different regions. So they're Slovaks. Please make a note of that, if you please. Let's go back, if you please, to 2 Ezra Chapter 5, and we'll read verse 5. All right, let's go.
2 Ezra Chapter 5 and verse 5. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice.
Now, first of all, it says blood shall drop out of wood. Now, with those who have read this in the past, especially in Christianity, they say this is a prophetic look to the blood of Christ bleeding from the cross. That's not true. That's not true. It can't be backed up with scripture either. But here it is, that if you notice, if you go online and you were to pull up any images, don't do it now because I'm teaching you, but if you were to go online and look at a tree being cut, you'll see that it will bleed red sap. So when we're reading this here, it says, and the blood shall drop out of wood. Then it says, go on.
And the stone shall give his voice.
And the stone shall give his voice. Read.
And the people shall be troubled.
And the people shall what?
Shall be troubled.
And the people shall be troubled. Let's give you the precept to back that up. Go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 2. And we're going to begin reading, if you please, from verse 34. Verse 34. And if you haven't had it highlighted in your Bible, you should have it highlighted in your Bible and precepted to what we just reading in 2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 5. Read, sir.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands.
So this stone that is speaking about is the stone that you read about in the New Testament that said the stone that the builders rejected.
God.
You seeing this?
God.
That's why I don't want to rush this, because it's just too heavy to rush. Otherwise it would go over your head. So it says here, read it again from the top, sir.
Daniel chapter 2 and verse 34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet.
That did what?
That smote the image upon his feet.
Go on.
That were of iron and clay, and broke them to pieces.
Broke them to pieces. Now, this also is dealing with the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream, right? The huge statue. Now, make a note of this. It had a gold head. The gold head represented Babylon. It had a torso and arms of silver. That represents the Medo-Persia. Medes and Persians, all right? Got it? Then the brass belly and thighs. That represents Greece. Then the calves, the remaining part of the leg and foot is Rome. Got that? Now watch this now. The feet and the toes are of clay and iron. And you know, clay and iron does not mix. Now, if clay and iron does not mix, what is that telling us? If clay and iron does not mix, what is it telling us?
We shouldn't mix.
No, sir. Just show me your hand. I don't want you just shouting out because you got it wrong. What if clay and iron does not mix? By show me your hand. Let me see who think they know. Tell me. If clay and iron, go on.
It's weak.
It is weak. That's good. But it's good. But I need more. Come on, who can tell me? Clay and iron and clay doesn't mix. So if it doesn't mix, what does it mean? What did you say? All right, so, all right, let's start at the very back, and then we'll come down to you at the very back. Weak and strong, kind of similar to what was said just up front here, but I need a little bit more. Go on. Say that again. There was division. So, clay and iron cannot mix, so it means it's a division. That means there was a division in the kingdom.
God.
Right? So, please, ladies and gentlemen, make note of that. Need to make note of that. There was a split in the kingdom. So, clay toes and feet is a division. Now, before I move from there, what does the 10 toes represent? What does the 10 toes represent? Go on. No, because we didn't have 10. That's all right, sir. All right, so what does it mean? Revelations chapter 17 and verse 3. Let's go.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 3.
Go on.
So he carried me away in the spirit.
How?
In the spirit.
Go on.
Into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads.
Having what?
Having 7 heads.
Go on.
And 10 horns.
And 10 horns. The 10 horns are also pursuant to the 10 toes.
God.
So 10 horns, 10 toes. Got that?
God.
So tell me, what are the 10 horns or what are the 10 toes? All right, yourself, brother Isaiah, go on.
God.
The same 10 toes of the 10 horns are also the 10 nations.
The 10 nations, so name them.
Okay, there's Belgium, France.
Go on.
Germany.
Good.
Italy.
Good.
Luxembourg, Netherlands.
Good. All right, let me repeat what you're saying so that everyone knows that what you're saying because they can't hear you. All right, start again from the top. You're good all the way, so let's have it again.
Okay, from the beginning. Belgium.
Belgium.
France.
France.
And then Germany.
Germany.
And Italy.
Italy.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
And then Denmark.
Denmark.
Ireland.
Ireland.
United Kingdom.
Hold it. Don't say yes and you're not doing it. You just be silent now. Don't steal his thunder. Go on.
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
Greece.
Greece. Excellent. All this took place between what? Let's bonus. What? When did this take place? Between what were the dates? Go on.
1957.
1957 through to
1981.
1981. Now it's increased since then, but that's when the major parts of those 10 were selected and pulled together. All right? Those are the 10 toes. Those 10 toes that you're reading about are also the 10 horns. So you see how it's important to know this, because if you don't, then when you're reading the scriptures, you won't see the tie-in. That's why the 10 horns, 10 toes, they tie in. Come? All right, so let's go a little bit step further. Now, after he saw this huge statue with the gold head coming all the way down into the different divisions, what did it stand on? What did it stand on? It stood on a rock. a rock. That's important for us to know this. They stood on the rock, and the rock that it stood on, it was cut out without man's hands. Right? Then the stone filled the entire earth. Because what does it mean? The stone, by the way, let's give you some answers on that. The stone represents judgment. Judgment. And when I use the expression that the stone filled the earth, it's speaking about Yahweh Mashiach, his kingdom shall be established on the earth.
Yeah.
Why? Because he is going to smash those things. Now, bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't miss this. He's not going to smash the gold head. He's not going to smash the silver body, because all those times have gone. The only times that will still exist is the 10 toes or the 10 horns, because those are dealing with those 10 kingdoms, those still 10 nations. Got that?
Yes.
You got a question? Go ahead, Doctor.
Shalom, Dr.
Shalom to you, sir.
There's a precept for that also, Matthew 21, 44 to 46.
Let's go there. Matthew chapter 1.
Chapter 21, verses 44 to 46.
Let's go there. Matthew 21, 44 to 46. Let's read it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 44. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken.
Go on.
But on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder.
Come on. So that's letting you know that this stone that they rejected, this same stone is going to come back and become the millstone to crush all the nations. No nation will be able to stand up under the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. Got that? And then when we read the next verse, 45.
Verse 45. And when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard his parables, they perceived that he spake of them.
Go on.
But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude, because they took him for a prophet.
They took him for a prophet. Go on. Okay. So let's get back now to 2 Ezra chapter 5. And let's read verse 5 again.
2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 5. And blood shall drop out of wood.
Go on.
And the stone shall give his voice.
So you see, the stone that will give his voice, we all now know that is Yahushai. He's that stone. Now, watch this. He's the same stone who also is going to cause many of us to fall, who are in the truth. Now, they say, what? He's going to cause some of us who are to fall, who are in the truth, because Scripture says he becomes the rock of offense. And he's going to cause you to stumble. So this now means you have to be gird up the loins of your mind. Because if you don't, well, what happens is you'll think you're going on good, and you're in the truth. Everything's, fantastic. And all of a sudden, something happens that you lose it for a minute. And that loss will cause you to lose your part in the kingdom. That's why he encouraged the disciples. He said, be on your double watch. Because at a time when you think not, the enemy's coming as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may. He's trying to take you out. So when you think, well, everything's fine, well, you've got to be always doubly checking yourself out, checking out your spirit, checking out your mind. And you have to gird yourself, because the enemy's going to try and make you become weak. Wow. But I thought I was all right. You thought you were all right. But the enemy was looking for a way to get in, to find a weakness in your building to tear it down. All right. So let's go further now. Let's go back and read verse 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 6.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 6.
Go on.
And even he shall rule, whom they look not for that
Go on.
dwell upon the earth.
Now, the reason why this is a tough one, because let's read it again, read it slow, because this is it's kind of a twister. Watch now, read.
2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 6. And even he shall rule,
And even he shall rule.
whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth.
So he's not going to look like what they are looking for.
God,
What they want is not what's going to appear.
God.
Read it again, sir.
And even he shall rule, whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth.
Read.
And the fowl shall take their flight away together.
They shall do what?
And the fowl shall take their flight away together.
Their flight away together. All right. Hold that for a minute. Jump up to verse 26. So we can get the precept to the fowls. Read.
Verse 26. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove.
One dove. So out of all the people that are created, it says he has named one dove. Now remember, everything that you're going to read here is speaking about the multitudes. It's all related to people.
God.
It's all, but he's saying that even though it relates to people, I've only chosen me one out of all of them. Are you with me so far? Come?
Yes, God.
So, 26 again.
And of all the fowls that are created,
Out of all the people that were created, it's a metaphor. Go on.
thou hast named thee one dove.
I've only named one dove. Go on.
And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep.
Provided what?
Provided thee one sheep.
All right. Let's make this even easier. Jump back up to verse 23 because it'll make life a little easier for people to understand. I've got to be mindful of those who are following online and possibly missing it. So go back to verse 23 and we'll read 23 on down. Okay?
Come.
Go on.
2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 23. And said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth.
So notice, wood scripturally is dealing with trees, and trees is dealing with people. Come?
Come.
So when we read this now, it said, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen what?
Thou hast chosen thee one, Salaki, only one vine.
Only one vine.
Come.
He has chosen one only vine, one that is special above all the rest. So out of all the people on the earth, he has chosen just one people. Who's that people? They are the vine. And I've chosen them above all that's in the earth. Go on.
And of all land of the whole world,
Of all the lands of the earth, go
thou
on.
hast chosen thee one pit.
I've chosen just one pit, one land area. Go on.
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
Read on.
And of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river. And of all builded cities, thou hast hallowed Zion.
Those do number one.
Thou hast hallowed Zion
Go on.
unto thyself.
So now it's making it very clear as to whom he's hallowing unto himself, because he's speaking about everything. But now he's going to make it even clearer in verse 27. But continue to read on, brother.
Verse 26. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove.
One dove. Go on.
And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep.
One sheep. Go on.
And among all the multitudes of people.
So now, that verse 27 is letting you be very clear that the multitudes, in terms of the representation of flowers, earth, and sea, are all representative of people, so to speak. Okay? It's metaphorical. Now read 27, sir.
And among all the multitudes of peoples, thou hast gotten thee one people.
One people.
And unto this people, whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law.
So it's letting you know that the law was not given to everybody. And this ties in with Psalm 147, 19 through 20. You want to precept that real good right now. Wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
Go on. Just finish that.
Yes, sir. Thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
Thou gave us a law that was what?
That is approved of all.
Approved of all. Let's jump back to verse 6, if you please.
2 Ezra Chapter 5 and verse 6.
Go on.
And even he shall rule, whom they look not, for that dwell upon the earth.
Read it again.
And even he shall rule, whom they look not, for that dwell upon the earth.
Go on.
And the fowls shall take their flight away together.
They should do what?
And the fowls shall take their flight away together.
Go on. Watch it now.
And the Sodomish
And the Sodomish.
and the Sodomish seed shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night.
Now the reason why it's making that, because it means that there's going to be destruction. So fish, if they're not in water, they begin to make a whole lot of noise. When they're in water, they're calm. That's why when you see a trailer, when it takes all of the fish out and put it onto its deck, they start to make a lot of noise. They're flapping and moving around. Read it again. I want people to imagine it and get the thought.
2 Ezra Chapter 5 and verse 7. And the Sodomish seed shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof.
Now the reason why I said many shall not have not known is because remember, no one in this room, no one even before us, no one has ever heard a nuclear missile go up. That's why it says, and to make a noise in the night, which many have not known. No one has heard it. No one alive has heard a nuclear missile. It's never been done. But what it's saying, that this is going to be a time of war when the nuclear missile, the ICBM missile, will come and create such explosion, it will put a fright to everyone around. In other words, when the first missile hit America, everyone on the continent will hear it. Even though you are 1,000 miles away, you will hear it, and you'll wonder, and the earth will shake it. What is that? And meanwhile, the devastation has been caused over in that part of America. And then it will crash again, and someone else will hear it in another part of America. And the earth will start to rumble, and people will become afraid because they've never felt that before. That's not an earthquake. That's something worse than an earthquake. And so it's telling us there of what's going to happen. Read verse 8.
2 Ezra Chapter 5 and verse 8. There shall be confusion also in many places, and in the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places.
No, what that means is this, is that right now, this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Even the scientists are puzzled because animals who they migrate to a certain area, they're finding that when the animals go back, they are going further out of the areas that they once were in. It is like the animals have been told, spiritually, so to speak, that don't stay you are, go further out. So the animals, when they come back after a certain season, they're going even further and further and further, and they can't explain why that is. It's because they don't want to be nuked with the rest of y'all. So they're moving to a place of safety. And that's why when you read it again, sir, read it again.
Second Ezra chapter 5 and verse 8.
And you see why sometimes you have to repeatedly keep reading the verse in order to understand it. You can't do a one-time read. Read.
There shall be a confusion.
So the confusion is going to come about, right?
Also in many places.
In many places, many different states and cities. Go on.
And the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beast shall change their places.
They shall change their places. They're going to go to places and that they've never been to before because they're moving out of the blast zone, so to speak. Go on.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Because it will cause even the women that will have children that will come out deformed. There's going to be a deformation of births at that time. Because again, the Most High, it's as if he has closed the doors on certain things. In fact, many things. The prophets will not be on the street. Men and women will go to. I remember there was an Israelite group. They were on the corner of West Bank and Richmond Road. Let's go down there, and they'll go there and they won't find them, because there will be a renewed hunger for the truth, but they will not find the men where they were, because there's a time coming where it will stop. So it's showing you here that all these things are taking place. And then when we read verse 9.
Verse 9. And salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another.
Now let's understand this. Let's understand this first. It said, and salt water, read.
And salt waters shall be found in the sweet.
Now what does that mean? What does it mean? Those of you that are reading, you're reading the same thing I'm reading. What does it mean? Tell me. Okay, all right, I get you. What it means is that the fish, let's read it again.
And the salt waters shall be found in the sweet.
In the sweet, meaning that the salt water fishes will readapt themselves to live and swim in fresh water. See that? Because they recognize, remember, the seas are going to be blown to smithereens as well. And so it said, and the salt water shall be found in the sweet. And then it says, read.
And all friends shall destroy one another.
And those that you thought were your friends, they're going to come and gang up. Especially if you had your home too open to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They know what you've got there. I know where we can go and get that. Where? I know this guy's up the road. He's got this, or she's got that. Let's go there. You see how it's important not to invite everyone into your home? Your domicile is your safe haven. But what some of us have done, we've adopted the principle of acting like our enemies, which is to show off what we have. Oh, come to my home, let me show you what I have. Yeah, you show me all right. You've shown me provisions for the future. And so it says, and all friends shall destroy one another. Continue.
Then shall wit hide itself.
Then what?
Then shall wit hide itself.
Go on.
And understanding withdraw itself.
And understanding will withdraw itself. Go on.
Into his secret chamber.
People are not going to want to share what they know. They're going to want to make their own escape. Go on.
And shall be sought of many.
All right, what I'm going to do now for the next few verses, I'm going to have you explain them. So you're going to get your thinking cap on. We don't have long to go with this teaching because we're long teaching today. So verse 10, I'm going to pick on you. So let's go. And shall be sought.
And shall be sought of many.
Read.
And yet not be found.
Read.
Then shall unrighteousness and inconsistency be multiplied upon earth, one land also shall ask another and say,
All right, let's read that again. Let's go from the top.
come. 2 Ezra chapter 5 and verse 11. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous?
All right, what does that mean? Quickly. Go on.
Shalom, Dr. Thompson.
Shalom to sir.
When I see that, I remember earlier it said that there will be no more word. So people are going to be wilding out. And so they're going to be finding people that they think are, that have the understanding of the law, and they're going to be asking them, is this what you're doing? Is this going to basically save their lives at that point?
Right, so they're going to be looking for anyone and anyone who can give them something that will help give them understanding of what's going on. Read it again, sir.
Come. One land also.
Now go back.
Salaki. Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
2 Ezra chapter 5 verse 10. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth.
Let's go back. Let's cover that word. What is that word?
Incontinency.
Incontinency.
Incontinence.
Yeah.
Salakia.
Go on.
And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee?
Go on.
And it shall say, no.
Go on.
At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper.
They shall. So what does that mean?
Say again? It's too late. Whatever you thought of doing,
It won't work now. It's too late. All right, go on.
Come, verse 13.
Let's finish this up. Go on.
To show thee such tokens.
To show thee token. What is tokens?
Signs.
Tokens is what?
Signs.
Signs. Go on.
I have leave.
I have what?
I have leave.
Go on.
And if thou wilt pray again, and weep as now, and fast 7 days,
And do what?
and fast 7 days.
Now tell me, ladies and gentlemen, is that fasting is a very important part of what we do? Why is it that people are not fasting like they should be fasting? Become lazy. Fasting is going to be it's going to be one of the key things that you do. It is important that you don't let a week go by and you don't fast. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, make it part of your methodology. Have a day in the week, and let that day in the week be a day of fasting. It's important. It's important. And again, I'm saying to you that make it a proper fast, because you're securing your spirituality for the future. I did ask right now how many people fast, because I used to push it heavily before, but I'm hoping I don't have to keep on doing it. Why? Tell me, is it because I don't keep asking or saying why you stop doing? Please tell me, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know. And fasting is something that it's not something that you need to let everybody around you know. You just need to just do it.
Come.
There are some days I get up, I just choose to fast that day.
Right.
That's it. No big deal. And my spirit just feels like this is the day I want to fast today. And when you do that, your body rises to meet you because your spirit is ready for it. The reason why I'm going to caution you about, and it's okay to do it like that, to have a set day in the week, it's okay. But the reason for that is that if you're not disciplined, you'll start to say to them, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I've got to fast. Today's Wednesday, I've got to fast. But if you let your spirit just go with it, you will just go with it. Come?
Come.
So, Do you fast?
I did last week.
Right. They're honest brothers. You must fast, brothers, sisters. You must do it. Read it again, sir.
God. 2nd Ezra Chapter 5, verse 13.
Go on.
To shew thee such tokens I have leave. And if thou wilt pray again,
Pray again.
and weep
And
as
weep.
now, and fast 7 days,
Go on.
thou shalt hear yet greater things.
So there are great things that will happen if you do a fasting over a period of time. And it says 7 days, an act of completion. Go on.
Then I awaked, and in extreme fearfulness went through all my body,
Read.
and my mind was troubled, so that it fainted.
Go on.
So the angel that was come to talk with me held me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet.
Go on.
And in the second night it came to pass that Salathiel, the captain
Good.
of the people, came unto me, saying, Where hast thou been? And why is thy countenance so heavy?
Read.
Knowest thou not that Israel is comforted unto thee in the land of their captivity? Up then and eat bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaveth his flock in the hands of cruel wolves.
Cruel wolves. 19 and last. Go on.
Then said I unto him, Go thy ways from me, and come not nigh me. And he heard what I said, and went from me.
All right. Questions, ladies and gentlemen, questions before we conclude here. Any questions at this time? Feel free to ask those questions. Yes, go ahead.
In verse 6,
Mm-hmm.
when it says that they're not going to look like what people are looking for, that also includes the 2/3, because they're looking for a different Savior as well.
What you find, let's read verse 6 again, sir.
2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 6. And even he shall rule, whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth.
Because again, it's not what they were looking for. They're not, he that comes, they're not looking for him to look like the people who dwell on the earth. But when he comes, he's going to look like some Negro around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to put them in complete shock and derision. So, but remember that only those who are of the 1/3, they are going to be the ones who are going to be, and I have to keep pushing that, they're going to be, what's the term? Not resurrected, what do they call it in Christianity?
No, it's
Raptured up. Raptured up.
God.
You see, the reason I have trouble with that now is because it's unscriptural term. You can't find it in the Bible. It doesn't exist. See, it's a term that man came up with. And isn't it funny how they've made it become a religious theme? You see, those are terms that don't come from the scripture. The only word you will read in the scripture speaks by, it says caught up. They'll be caught up, snatched away. All right. So, yes, ma'am. He is going to look like us, and that's what's going to trouble them. Remember, it's going to cause so much chaos when they see Yahweh. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when the angels appear? Black angels? That's not what's in the Sistine Chapel. It's going to cause much derision, much confusion. But here's what you've got to understand. They're going to know that their bacon is cooked because they know how they have felt and how they have treated people of color. And now the people of color are the people that are coming down from the chariots. We're in trouble. That's what they're going to say. Any other questions? Feel free. Just utilize this moment. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go Matthew 24.
Book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven.
That's going to be absolutely frightening for them. In fact, you might want to write that down and precept that with your Apocrypha. So 2 Ezra chapter 5 and 6, precept that with Matthew chapter 24 and verse, say it again, sir.
Verse 30.
30. So start from the top again.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 30.
Go on.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
It's going to be fascinating how everyone's going to see him. And even those Moabites who have been making fun of us as a people, their bacon is cooked too. Because they're going to see what the real Savior looks like. So, did you finish it, sir?
Yeah, that was verse 30.
All right. Verse 31, did you read the next verse as well?
Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Now, they say that in Christianity, they say only the elect will hear it and the other nations won't. No, they all will hear it. Because it's a grand coronation. When he appears, everyone must hear, because fear must come to everyone. If it's only us who's hearing, that means everyone's going to walk about like nothing's happening. But when all hear it, they will drop to their knees, because they've never heard any such thing before. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Feel free. Any questions online?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Could a strong desire to fight back now be a form of weakness?
That's a good question. It is a good question. It is only a sign of your humanity. That's all it is. I will be honest with you. If I see a man being harmed, or a woman for that reason, by a policeman, I will not stand by. That's my answer to that. That's me personally. I will not stand by. I can't stand by and watch that. I'm not going to stand by and see an execution. And let's put it this way, even if it's not an execution, I'm not going to stand by. I saw something on the video once where a policeman took a young girl, picked her up, and threw her like a rag doll across the bonnet of a car. Now, you're not going to tell me that's police training. That's you having a problem with black people and want to take it out. You fling her, I'm flinging you. Now, you're just going to have to come and bail me out, and if they won't bail me out and they lock me up, then Doc, you're just going to take over, because I'm not going to stand by and see that. That could be my daughter, and I'm not going to see that. I'm just not going to see that. Now, I say this to people, and people think that you got to act more spiritual. I am acting spiritual. Our people stand by and see murders. Yes, sir, go ahead. We stand by and we watch things that we shouldn't stand by and see. Go ahead, sir.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
See, it's a righteous thing. Now, I know that's speaking about the future age as well. But right now, but what would you do? Ladies and gentlemen, are you going to tell me that you would see something happen to your own? And repeat scripture.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6.
Got it? So are you going to tell me that you would actually watch that something happen to your own family member? Really? Any of you? You would?
Nope.
Then if you would, then I'm puzzled, because that is not a righteous thing. I think it's worse to see it happen. You see, so there are some things I believe that we must act and follow the consequence of it. And I think by now, this world, when I speak about this world, this America, they know they're in the wrong.
Yep.
Because every city is burning right now. They know they're in the wrong. What are they saying? You've got an idiot like Trump, and I don't care who's hearing this, you've got an idiot like Trump talking about their thugs. I remember what the Chicago mayor said. Did you watch that one?
Oh, yeah.
She said, I've only got 2 letters for you.
Yeah.
And she said the letters, and everybody had their eyes all bugged out after that one.
Yep.
I won't repeat it, but my sentiments are with her.
Come.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, so scriptures also say in several places in 9:9, 2:42.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other aspect is when blood like that is shed, then that's blood being shed unrighteously. And the only way it can be wiped away is with more blood being shed.
The scripture says that.
From the person that shed it.
It said in the book of Numbers. Is it 35 and 33 or 32 and 35?
35.
It says if you shed blood, it's going to take blood to clean blood. That's what the scripture says. I didn't write the Bible. Oh, but that was in those times. No, it's a law, by the way.
Come.
33, 35.
I think we know, Doc. I think we know.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed.
So it says the land cannot be cleansed. Now, can someone in here tell me, why can the land not be cleansed? Can someone tell me, why is it not cleansed? Why is it impossible to cleanse the land? You have to do it there's a reason why the land is cleansed. How do you cleanse the land? It's in that. So tell me what the book says. Don't look at me like what does the book say? I want somebody over here to say, tell me. Go ahead, man. Correct.
Come.
Now, again, in all the years that you have been in church, did they teach you that? No. Why would they not teach that? Is it not? The scripture says he's coming in the volume of the book it is written of me. The volume, meaning what we call Old and New Testament.
Come.
Is he leaving anything out when he says he's coming in the volume? No. The volume means the whole book and nothing but the book. So no one's going to escape anything here. Do you think it's wrong? The book is right.
Everything in it.
Everything in it.
Come.
Whether you like it or not. Question?
I think because, when we read the scripture, it says, wait patiently, and our time will come, and it tells us, be patient, become...
Revelations.
That what we're also not really looking at is that as we read further down in
13 and
Ezra,
9.
is that in Revelations it's clearly telling us we've lost our wisdom and our knowledge, so we don't know how to act at certain times, and so clearly.
Well, that was before. That was before. In the present time that we live now, according to the scriptures, he's bringing us back to our wisdom and understanding. How do we know this?
Yes.
Because Have you not noticed how the Spirit is moving on his men now?
God.
I don't know about you, but I know how I feel. When I read this book, it's like my head it's like it's lit up. Because now he wants you to know the scriptures as never before. And that's why, if you're in the Spirit, when you're hearing the teaching, other scriptures should be snapping off in your mind.
That's right.
As the scripture, as the teaching's been going for, where you're relating to it. Because it's the word now is becoming alive in you. You see, even patience. First of all, it says, read what it says in 9 for me, please.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have
That's why it says, if any man, male or female, have an ear, let him hear. Hear what?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Go on.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
It said they must be killed with the sword. Is that not what it said? They must be killed with the sword? Now, you have to respond, s'il vous plaît. Yeah? Because I like to, you see, the people online like to know that the people who I'm teaching are responding too. Because they think I'm teaching to an empty room, you see. So it's important that your voice is heard. So here it tells us, it says that, go ahead and finish what you were saying, sir.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Go on.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Now, the patience, that's our ministry. Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? You being patient is your ministry. Because the scripture says we must patiently wait. Revelation chapter 14, sir, and 12.
Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints.
So this is the patience of the saints. Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
We patiently keep the commandments of God. Go on.
And the faith of Yahushua.
And we keep the faith of Yahushua.
That's right.
That's what we do. We patiently do that. Week in, week out. Even when we feel like we want to go and do something, we patiently do that. Now, that stops us from going out there and burning down some places. That's what this does. It stops us from doing that. It stops us from becoming riotous on our job. It stops us from doing that. But the beauty of this is that we're waiting for the time of our waiting will soon come to an end. Revelation 22 and 14 for me, please.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
So there's a blessing on us by doing his commandment. Because part of his commandment is that we must remain patient. Go on.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
So we have a right. We have access to the tree of life. Go on.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
And this, because of our patience, will give us entrance into the city. Do you have a question, sir? Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Is there any questions online as well? Good. Go ahead.
Another precept, James 1 and 4.
James 1 and 4. That's a good one too. Let's hit that real quick.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 4. But let patience have her perfect work.
Say it again.
But let patience have her perfect work.
Go on.
That ye may be perfect.
That you may be complete.
And entire, wanting nothing.
Wanting nothing. See? So the scriptures are making it very clear for us. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry, sir. And there's a reason that they pop in my head, because verse 5, and then it goes back to what we were talking about today,
Yes.
Proverbs 4 and 18.
Right.
You know,
Go ahead, though. Verse 4, 5.
Come, verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God,
Go on.
that giveth to all men liberally.
That does what?
That giveth to all men liberally,
Go on.
and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
All right. All right. What was the other one that you had?
it goes back to Proverbs 4 and 18, which you were teaching us in the lesson.
Yes, Proverbs 4 and 18. Before we go to Jeremiah for me, please. Jeremiah 19 and 12.
Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 12. Thus will I do unto this place, saith the Most High, and to the inhabitants thereof.
See? So all we have to do is just be patient, because he's going to deal with them. Go on, finish it for me.
And even make this city as Tophet.
See? So there's no one going to get away. No one's going to get away with their actions. No one. Mark 11 and 28. Mark 11 and 28. Read 28, so what it says.
The book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 28. And I say unto him,
No, 23.
come. Mark, chapter 11, verse 23.
Go on.
For verily I say unto you,
There it is.
that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed,
Go on.
and be thou cast into the sea,
Go on.
and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass.
And we are believing that that mountain called Esau is going to be taken down
Come.
and cast into the sea. We're believing it. Now remember, when the book of Revelation speaks about the dead's going to come out of the sea, the reason why it speaks about the dead coming out of the sea, because remember, a lot of our foreparents, they died coming over to this country.
That's right.
And there's a whole lot of their bodies are there.
Yeah.
You see? So that's what it's speaking about. People think, oh, it's all those sailors. You know, forget your sailors. This is speaking about the people of the Most High God
God.
who died
That's right.
in that transition. Now, any other questions? Oh, yes, go online.
Yes, Pastor. Bishop is Dominic from the UK. Can you explain if there will be a specific time relating to this where the blood of this earth will give account and how it ties to this time of trouble? And then he references Matthew 13 and 11.
Let's go there. Matthew 13 and 11. Shalom to you, my brother Dominic. Matthew 13 and 11. Go ahead and read, sir.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven,
Go on.
but to them it is not given.
Right. You see, they don't have any. Look, this is why when we break the scriptures up the way that we do, especially now that the Spirit is on us,
Come.
that's because the Spirit is truly on us now. We are precepting the scriptures. We're breaking it up in a way that has never been done before. And many of us have come from sitting on the great men. But now the Most High is using us in a way that He has never used His men before. And you know what? It's going to keep on going. That there's going to be things that's going to be seen that's going to make us astonished. That's how we know. These are the tokens that are called the what? The signs. Did you finish that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Romans chapter 11 and 25. Romans 11 and 25, please.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery.
There it is. So go back, read Matthew chapter 13, as the brother brought out, and 11. And right after you've read that, go to Romans chapter 11 and 25 and read that.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Romans chapter 11 and verse 25.
Read.
For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery,
Go on.
lest ye should be wise in your own conceits,
Read.
that blindness in part is happened to Israel.
To who?
To Israel.
Go on. And notice it says in part, meaning that all of Israel is going to be blind. Go on.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
The fullness of the Gentile, meaning all of our brothers from the other tribes
Come.
who still don't know who they are, come in to understand who they are according to the scriptures. Hebrews chapter 8 and 6, hit that for me. Then let's go to Sirach. Let's make sure that our brother over there gets some good precepts.
Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 6.
Read.
But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry,
And more excellent ministry. Go on.
by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant,
Go on.
which was established upon better promises.
Better promises. Sirach chapter 37 and 25.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 25.
Read, sir.
The days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable.
It's innumerable. That's why he keeps on bringing us back, back, and back, because we are working out our salvation, getting it right. Blessed be his name. All right.
I'm sorry, the last scripture.
That was Sirach chapter 37, verse 25.
25.
Got it.
All right. And next question, so there's no more online.
He had a comment.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Hollywood is counteracting this with the media that is projecting our heritage as being a threat.
Come on. I completely agree with that.
That's supposed to happen.
So, did you all hear that question? All right. Raise your voice a little bit louder. I'll see if I can repeat it.
Yes, sir. Sorry, just one sec. Hollywood is counteracting this with media
Hollywood is counteracting this with media
that is projecting our heritage
that is projecting our heritage
as being a threat.
as being a threat. Absolutely. Hollywood does find us a threat. Why do you think they won't give you the job? Look, they are afraid of putting us in positions because we excel. We did not want them to play basketball. But lo and behold, they played basketball and they made that ball look like it was a tennis ball in their hand. We couldn't believe that Dr. J jumped up in the air, took his hand, span it around his body, and dunked the ball, and he hung in the air. Where did he learn to fly? Then we have football players. How does a man run so quickly and run through people the way that he did, Jim Brown? Because they can't understand, where do you have that ability? Then they said, I'll never be able to play golf. And now we have a tiger in the woods. You see, our people excel at everything that they do.
That's right.
And they don't. Why do you think they didn't give you an Oscar for acting for such a long time? Because when they played the role, we believed it. We have to start making our roles look like that. They're never going to make you live up above them. Hollywood knows what we have. So everything about this world is to keep you down and keep you limited. But that's okay, because our time is coming. It's going to come. All right, any other questions before we shut down? I want to give the overseas people who are there an opportunity to ask as many questions as they wish, because this time has allowed them the opportunity to at least sit in and confuse some of the teaching on today.
He referenced heroes, the heroes of Hollywood as well.
Yes.
They fake white faces for.
Yeah. And we were talking just yesterday about the W.D. Griffiths, how he has caused the world to see black people in such a low-mannered, ignorant way, because when he made that movie, the whole world saw it.
Yeah.
They saw us eating chicken and running around and cooning and all of that, and they believed it. So for nearly 100 years, they have continued to believe that this is the way that we operate. That's not the way we operate. That's not the way we operate. All right.
Here's another question.
Another question. Let's say that question.
So our time is it our time to rise as judges of this time? I'm sorry, let me start over.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just read it verbatim.
Yeah.
So our time is it to rise
So our time is to rise
as judges
of this time,
as well as, dare I say, warriors.
Yeah, you may say warriors, because remember, the Christian church has taught us that we are just to be good little old Christians. The Bible says, let's go to it. Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's go there, because sometimes it's better that you read what's right there. No one can argue. It says 10:37 says he raised up an army. Let's see where that is. Now bear with me, and then we'll get ready to. Where are you? Okay. Anyone found it? In Ezekiel 37, the army, and he rose up a great. Yeah. Let's read.
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them.
So it's the breath came into us. Now, the breath that is speaking right here is the same breath that was in Genesis. Let's just quickly show you that, so that we don't. Which is in Genesis chapter 2 and 7. So if you got that, let's read.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Most High God formed man of the dust of the ground.
Read.
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul.
Man became a living soul. We'll hit that again in a moment, but let's finish what we have in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived.
The breath is the law. Go on.
And they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
And we became an exceeding great army. So yes, we are to be warriors. We are going to be warriors. We are going to go with him, and we're going to bring the nations under subjection. The scripture makes it very, very clear that's what's going to happen. It's hard for us to receive, for some to receive, but that's what's going to happen. And to prove the point, Wisdom of Solomon, this will be our last scripture here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and 22. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and 22. Let's read.
Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 7 and verse 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt.
All right, watch this. Jump to 24 and 25 and stop there.
Verse 24. For wisdom is more for wisdom is more moving than any motion.
Watch it.
She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness.
Now watch this now.
For she is the breath.
There it is. She is the breath of what?
of the power of God,
Go on.
and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her.
Fall into her. Yes. So that makes it clear. All right. Let's. Is there any other questions, ma'am?
Here's another comment. He says, I ask, but wait of the time where those who wear a badge of law are cloaked with the flesh of their humanity, i.e., prejudice and hate. How do we strike the man of the human and not the law of the human?
Well, we have to wait until the law returns. But that's why when Yahweh Shai returns, he is the law. He's the law above all laws. And so when he comes and he gives the command, there is no law on the earth that can override his, because he's coming to be the judge.
God.
All right. So on that, ladies and gentlemen, to all our overseas people who have tuned in, we give the Most High much praise. We want to also remember those of you that are in the Dallas area. Please do contact us, or you can, in fact, go directly to our website, where you'll find Officer Hugh Belton, who's there. He's one of our officers there in the Dallas area, a man of God who will help to teach you the word and bring you into this truth. For those of you that are in the San Antonio area and you're looking for a school, again, you can go to our website and contact Elder Darrell Fields in San Antonio. He will help you there. And over in London, England, we have Brother Azariah. He's our brother out there that we're building that school there in London. And for those of you who need somewhere to go, again, to congregate, to come together in fellowship, he's our man in that location. And we also have Brother Dominic, who is further north in the area of Sheffield, England. Again, you can go to our website, find his information, and contact him direct. Or just send an email, and we will make the proper provisions. To our sisters who fight with us in the faith, those in California, Ohio, in Texas, in Michigan, and in Tennessee, we want to say shalom to you. And those of you in Florida, we want to say shalom to you. And we want to continue to solicit your support and prayers on the behalf of Officer and myself and the family here in the Houston area. We want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushai Salah. And as we prepare, is there any questions?